What's up, guys? It's McNulty here. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all doing well. So the Masquerade has opened up. So we've got some new Toon costumes in the portal alongside the Master Paladin trials. So you can get going with those. And we do have a Paladin who is featured in the portal. And in fact, it is this, I was going to say lovely looking lady, but it's a weird little Toon with some rocks on her head. Of course, it is Justice. And I've been looking forward to this one, to be honest, because I believe they have done a lot of work on Justice. So we've got to have a look at her today. She is going to be our latest 5-star Toon. I don't think that there are very many left, to be honest. I think, just looking through these, I think we've probably got all of our 5-star Toons done. Oh yeah, Karil. So she'll be an interesting one. We'll see what they do with Karil. She is an absolute beast. So we'll see whether they're able to give her due justice. Forgive the pun. Obviously, we are looking at Justice. And then we've also got Quintus to look forward to, the Love Doctor. So yeah, I don't think his original costume's going to be really that good if they do change the Toon. It'd be cool if they did a Toon version of this. That would just be awesome. So those are the only two, I think. Oh, and Horgle, nobody's interested in you, mate. But yeah, there's only... Oh, and Thorn. So four... Say there's only four left to do in the 5 stars. So we'll see what happens. Maybe they're just releasing one at a time. In fact, I did actually do 5 pulls in this portal. And I was lucky enough to grab this little lady, Liana. So, I mean, I'm not so stoked about her, to be honest, but I think the increase in damage is nice. And of course, it's nice to have a fast speed Toon hero. And she's going to be hitting pretty damn hard. So I'm okay with that. But anyways, let's get back to Justice. So Justice is our newest Toon hero. Of course, we've mentioned already she is of the Paladin class. So Paladin class gives her potentially the Master Protect, which gives her 25% chance to get 50% chance to get 25% increased defense for 2 turns. And the Master Talent gives the character and nearby allies a 10% health recovery as well. So that is pretty cool for the Master Talent for the Paladin class. I do actually like it. I think it's pretty strong in comparison to a lot of the others. She's hidden. Right. So Justice, just before we get into this costume, she's always been a pretty lackluster hero. I mean, if you look at her original version, 285% damage to all enemies, and all enemies get negative 40% accuracy for 4 turns. Now, there was a time when that might have been a decent amount of damage, but that was many, many years ago. And the negative accuracy effect is actually really, really good. But I mean, she was on par with somebody like Chao at the 4-star level, and just almost the same skill, just a little bit more powerful. Then they tried, obviously, with her initial costumes. This was, I think, that was the first one that came out. So it was a lower amount of damage to all enemies, but the damage increased per defeated ally. You don't really want there to be dead allies on your team, so that kind of worked against itself. So it was never really a great costume for her. And then we had this initial costume, or this secondary costume. Now they've looked to increase the damage to 300%, which is decent. And the damage increases per defeated enemy. Now that is much, much better. And we've got still that negative accuracy that's attached to the skill. So really, they have been trying with Justice along the years to increase and boost her costume up. But this Toon costume, I'll just go straight to the special on this one. It's Toon of Judgment, and it deals 435% damage to all enemies. And a nice, meaty, beefy attack stat up there. You can see with second limit breaks and emblems, 1657 attack means that Justice is now a destroyer. I mean, 435% damage is humongous. Just to put this into perspective, if we go into this portal, we've got this absolute beast of a hero. I know he gets a lot extra. He dispels buffs from all enemies, etc. But his damage is 400%. going up to a maximum of 500% damage, and his attack stat is at 1485. And this is the newest hero that we have released into this game. So if we switch back to our old friend Justice, you can see that attack stat 1657. Obviously, we're looking at it with second limit breaks and emblems, but that is the way that you want to look at these heroes, because this is the maximum power you're going to be able to get them to, and it's a guarantee of 435% damage to all enemies. Then she also gives the negative accuracy. They have decreased the accuracy from 40% down to 30%, but it still lasts for 4 turns, which is a decent amount of time. And she deals extra damage against Dark. I believe that is an extra 50% damage. Don't quote me on it, but that's what I've been told. So you can do some pretty serious damage with Justice. So what I'm saying is I do like the Toon for Justice. I think that she's amazing. Now, she also benefits from the Toon passive, of course, which gives her that annoying 75% chance to resist all status ailments, mana reductions, and buff dispels. She also benefits from the classic family bonus. So if you're putting more than one Toon hero on the team, anywhere from 1% to 7% on the attack, defense, and healing, depending on how many of these heroes that you have on your team. And if that wasn't enough, she also gets the defense up ether talent. So that's super important. And I can't stress how good I find this talent, just because right from the beginning of the battle, they get an extra 20% on their defense for 6 turns. And the beginning of the battle is when things are within those first 6 turns at the moment, is kind of when the battles are won or lost. And if you have an increased defensive stat, you can see she's got 1250 there. It's just going to straight up add another 200 points onto her defense for the first 6 turns. So that is stupid good. So yeah, she might be an oldie, but she's now become a goodie. And that's all just because of that increased damage from 285 to 435. It's a big enough increase alongside the stats to make her super duper relevant. And we haven't sort of touched on the costume bonus, but they are increasing the costume bonuses for the Toons as they bring new heroes out in almost every single balance update. In fact, I think in every balance update we've had, bar maybe 1 or 2, they have increased the stats for the Toon heroes. So that is a common theme, and I think we're going to see that continue on through. Now, she's not the only new Toon in the Toons portal, but I do think she is an absolute beast. So congrats if you do manage to get your hands on her. We do also have Chao. So Chao, we'll just go over the special. I mean, the stats and things like that are really neither here nor there. Good news for these 4-star heroes in the Toons, at least, is that they do get that all-important 5% on the mana bonus. So in terms of the special, tactical cuts changed to Toon cut. It was 315 damage to the target and a mana reduction of 25%. It's now 320% damage to the target and a mana reduction of 20% with that extra damage against Dark. So no humongous changes to Chao there, other than the fact that he gets that super duper Toon passive. The other, let me have a look here. We'll just go back out and back in, because this man, this little guy, he's one of my favorite heroes. I think he's one of a lot of people's favorite heroes. He's just so good and so versatile, especially with this secondary costume with the health boost and the increased defense. It's solid. And the cleanse. He hasn't ever switched over from cleanse to dispel, but he hasn't needed to, because he's just that good. He knows what he's good at, and he does it well. So in terms of this tunification, okay, it was purification, it's now tunification. So he's going to recover 45% health for all allies. It was 42% health, and there's quite a lot extra going on here now. So all allies get 34% defense for 3 turns, and this effect then becomes undispellable and lasts for 2 turns longer on Dark characters. And he cleanses status elements from all allies. So that is strong. That's kind of what I was expecting from Rigard. I thought it was going to be strong, and it is in the same vein as Toon Melindor, which is a Toon that I actually have and use all the time. You put this hero on a team full of Dark heroes, and he is going to give them an undispellable 34% defense increase for a total of 5 turns, because it's 3 turns, but it lasts 2 turns longer and becomes undispellable on Dark Heroes, which is super good. And the 45% health recovery is really, really solid as well. In fact, I don't know for sure, but I feel like Melindor's is slightly higher. So just humor me a second, guys. Sorry. I know there's probably loads of heroes to go through here. In fact, I think there's about 30. I can't remember when I last counted, to be honest. There he is. All right. So, oh no, it's 45% health. So that was a big ass waste of time. But it's basically exactly the same special, just with the cleanse instead of the dispel. And I'm not mad at it. I think it's great. So of our new heroes, I think that is pretty much all of them. We do have also Carver and Carol. I don't think I'm gonna dwell on these ones. I mean, it's, what is it? Slightly increased damage, mana reduction, slightly reduced, and extra damage against ice. And then for Carol, it's 290 as opposed to 260, and then extra damage against fire. So yeah, I mean, you've got better versions. Carol's that costume is better for what am I thinking of now? Events, challenge events. I would sort of definitely level a copy of that guy. But otherwise, Carver's just, he's not that useful. But anyways, those are my thoughts on the main heroes that we've got in here. Justice is an absolute beast. Congrats if you managed to get her. Rigard is solid as anything, and he's just going to become more solid with the advent of this Toon costume. And unfortunately, Chao's a bit of a waste of time. I did like this costume for him, where he gets the even damage for the target nearby, but then I wanted him to have the mana cut rather than the reduced mana generation. So long story short, he's my least favorite out of these heroes, but I'd love to have Toon Rigard and also Toon Justice. But I wasn't lucky enough, and I've got Toon Liana. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I've got to say on the Toons. Please do let me know in your comments. Let me know what you guys think of these new Toon heroes, especially Justice. And also drop us a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share it with your mother, and I'll see you all again next time. Bye for now.